Good morning and welcome to day 12 of the Arctic adventure.
I spent the night about an hour outside of Umeå. It's at this little trailhead of a river in the middle of some beautiful nature. So the river is called Rikleon and it is 48 kilometers long and it flows from up here all the way down to the sea. And we are actually just at the end and it looks like a fantastic place to go on a little hike. So that's what I want to do in just a minute. But first let's have some breakfast and I really need a cup of coffee. I was so happy when I saw the bagels at the store because I could never find any of those in Switzerland. And when toasted they just smell so good. So on the menu today is a pesto egg and cheese bagel, then cream cheese with jam, which my grandma made. Also got the coffee made, so let's dig in. Good stuff. Also, I always get the alarm that there's a heat wave back home again. Like 36 degrees. And here I'm just chilling with 18 degrees max. Pretty glad I made it up north. Yeah, that's gonna give me some energy for later on. Even though I don't think I'm gonna go too far. Probably just a good hour or two. Runny egg yolk proof. Few grapes. I think that's enough food content. Now check out this wooden bridge. This is so cool.
Now, while I was eating breakfast, I met a fellow Swiss woman and she moved to somewhere around here and she reckoned that going to the sea is much nicer than going inwards. So thanks Nicole for the tip and yeah, let's head over there.
Now this bridge is so cool. It looks like it's fully made out of wood, aside from the cable of course. And these are some beefy anchors holding the bridge in place. It's quite a rocky path. Oh, that's such a beautiful trail. The ground is really soft. And I just love the green floors and then the kind of needle-covered way leading through nature. That's gonna be a good hike. I think it's only 1.8 kilometers though, one way. So yeah, not the biggest one, but I don't mind that. Also, if the path isn't clear enough, it's really well marked out. And how lucky did we get with the weather today? It's actually the first time I had to put sunscreen on this trip. Little rocky staircase. Whenever I see one of those uprooted trees along the highway, I think it's a moose because it's just like a dark patch in the forest. And I always get a bit disappointed when it's a tree. I don't think that was a good place to grow to begin with. Poor fella, but I think that's on him. I think this really has to be the nicest trail I've ever walked on. It's so soft. It's kind of like walking on a mattress. Now pretty much all of the greenery on the floor are blueberry plants. So I might do a picking session for another round of blueberry pancakes tomorrow morning. I think that would be fun. Small little lake back there. Now check out this view. And I also just got a comment on the abandoned mine episode and I thought this was like brilliant. So thanks to Corelli. He wrote, "The adventure is getting lost, going the wrong way, finding something you didn't expect, meeting the locals and having a conversation in 2 languages. Then going back to your van with the complete satisfaction that you are now an adventurer." Honestly, this guy is like a poet. You really make my days with these comments. It's pretty fun to have you along the journey here. And yeah, share a bit of my travels. I just love it. And you know, the crazy thing is, this was just like a random little pin on Google Maps. I think with like 2 or 3 reviews, that it's such a well-kept path and little barbecue area. And honestly, I don't think I'm gonna drive all the way up to Luleå today. That's the correct pronunciation, I also just learned. Because Nicole gave me another tip about a small lighthouse, I think about an hour away from here. And today might just be a complete recharge day. Because the first almost 2 weeks have been quite a lot of work. We are back on track. And it smells so good in here. And the air is so clean. I mean, it was pretty much all over Sweden so far, but forests are just so cool. I like forests. And we've got another fallen soldier. path through is getting a bit narrower down here. Almost couldn't find it. Well, I'm not sure if it's still a path, actually. That was pretty funny. I walked into Nicole again and Leia. That's such a cute dog. And she was going after the blueberries like crazy. And yeah, I got so many more tips from Nicole. And actually she's starting up a little travel agency up here in northern Sweden. So I'm gonna put a link in the description. And if anyone is ever coming to northern Sweden and the region of Umeå and Luleå, then yeah, hit her up, because she definitely has some secret spots in her repertoire. That's a weird word. Also, it's already almost lunchtime because we were talking so long. And yeah, now 2 groups passed me, so I'm not sure how much filming I'm gonna do at the tip, or at least not much talking, but I'm sure you don't mind. Look at this bounciness. Glad I packed my waterproof shoes. Now I'm just so happy that I cooked up a big breakfast and met Nicole, because otherwise I would have just gone the other way. I'm sure that would have been nice too, but this is just so fantastic. Oh, and did you know that reindeer are pretty much just cows with antlers? I thought they were more like deer, but a bit more fur. I guess I never really looked at a photo up close. And also apparently there are bears around here, and in the village she's from, last year they shot the biggest one in the area, but there's no reason to be scared of them, apparently. I would say the same thing if I had a hunting dog with me. This rock formation just looks a bit out of this world. It really feels a bit surreal here. I mean, that's just all one big piece of rock. It's crazy. So that's a tip where we gotta go. Let's see if we can make our way down here. Now the rocks are really grippy, so that's cool. Well, I guess my shoes are too. I could watch those waves all day long. Feel like I should take a nap over here. Now you gotta give it to me, that jump was sick. It was like 5 meters, maybe even 6, but that's up for debate. Now I hope today's making up for the missed hiking day because of all the rain in Skuleskogen, or however that's pronounced. I mean, if this doesn't suffice, I have no clue what would work. Now just a few hundred meters left and we'll make it to the top. Now if there are any geologists in the chat, then let me know why the rock over here is so red, and then right next to it, it's kind of pale and light. It looks like it's oxidized, but I wonder what from. Or is there like iron in the rock? I mean, that could be, I guess. That gives me flashbacks about the iron mine, so maybe let's not talk about that. Now obviously I had to pack some hiking snacks and I made sure to bring the essentials. Now please don't come after me, but I think I found like a new secret combination. This stuff is so good together. They both bring like saltiness and a bit of sweetness. That's my new officially unofficial Swedish hiking snack. combination. Also, my first bottle is almost empty, so I guess we can start collecting some blueberries and eventually make our way back to the van. Also, I did just feel a bit uneasy about picking berries, but I looked it up and apparently within the right to roam, you're pretty much happy to take whatever you want as long as you can obviously consume it. Let's find some good bushes and get picking. And talking about respecting nature, this has been so cool. I did not see a single piece of trash on the entire trail. And I mean, I guess it helps that it's quite a hidden one, but still, usually there's always some stuff laying around. I think that's a good one. But then talking about picking berries and other stuff like mushrooms, it's always important to not completely strip an entire plant, but yeah, just take a bit of each so they can still reproduce. Also, now I see why these are so expensive at the store. It takes ages to get them picked. Alright, so half an hour later and I've got the bottle like a third full, and they are just so tasty. Way better than the ones at the store. And yeah, my hands are a bit purplish now, but that was such a peaceful activity, like meditating or berry-tating, however you want to call it. Yummy, those look good. Alright, so we are back on the road. So we have 66 kilometers in just above an hour to drive, and then we're at the lighthouse, or at least kind of a gravel parking lot next to a beach, which is about 2 kilometers from the lighthouse. I really gotta lock in with editing today. I still don't have the thumbnails done for the episode that's coming out in 5 hours. There's a ton of other stuff I gotta get done. Then I might actually go to the lighthouse for sunrise. But that's before, I think, 4:30 a.m. I also want to check out Luleå tomorrow. Yeah, I'm still not quite sure. Now that was a huge construction site, but to be fair, I was warned by a viewer. I don't remember who exactly, but thanks for the heads up. It was so dusty, I definitely gotta clean up the solar when I get to the camping spot. Also filled up the water jugs again with ice-cooled water, so my shower's gonna be fun tonight. And now it's only 20 more minutes to go, and again, it takes us through the countryside, and yeah. It's always a surprise whether we have asphalted streets or if they're just dirt roads, but yeah, we'll see about that. Now, after some back and forth, because the original parking spot I planned, it was packed with like camping trailers, which I find kind of strange to just leave your trailer at a public parking spot. But this one over here is so cool. It's almost like a campsite where you have like the little bays where you can park into. And I mean, you know me by now, of course this was free again. And I've got a table over there and I will park in there for the night. But for now, I still need some power from the van for the laptop. And yeah, that's gonna be the lock-in bench. And also we are in another nature reserve. This time it's called Club. Maybe we can go bird watching. But as I said, I think I'm gonna do the lighthouse tomorrow. And for now, just make myself a coffee, have a small lunch, and then, yeah, do lots of editing. There's so many mosquitoes here. I better put on some deterrent. Also, there's tons of blueberry bushes around here too, so I wouldn't even have needed to pick them on the hike. I gotta say the berries were a bit bigger though, but the forest around here is so pretty too, and there is a trail to the sea as well. I gotta say, I'm still pretty glad I took the E4. It wasn't the nicest road to drive on with all the construction sites, but I really like this coastal region around here. First one done, and I think 2 to go. So it's time for another alcohol-free beer tasting. And today I have a Visby lager, Gotlands Bryggeri. It's a Swedish beer from Utvecklad I Visby. I gotta Google that. Oh, Utvecklad means created, so Visby is the city. I should have my Swiss Army knife. Well, I couldn't find it, so another bottle has to do. Alright. That's a good one too. Also, it is already getting quite cold. And I just saw that there's a ton of ants on the ground. Like the entire floor is moving. But enough talking. I gotta get back to editing so that we have some stuff to upload tomorrow in Luleå, where I'm probably gonna look for a library. Because as I said, the last IKEA was in Umeå, so no more luck with that Wi-Fi. That was over 3 hours of time lapse. Another video rough cut and made dinner, ate that, took a shower, reparked the van, and the traffic really quieted down on the big road here. I think no one's going to the lighthouse anymore. And so far we're still alone on the parking spot, but it's getting so cold I gotta continue editing inside of the van. And out here it's just kind of a mixture of peaceful and just a little bit spooky, I think. I mean, no clue why I'm calling it spooky. It isn't at all, but still, it's such a weird experience to just be on your own. I mean, not just like in the van, but I don't know. I'd guess in a circle of about 250 meters. I'm the only person. And I mean, that never happens to me living in a city. So it's getting philosophical again. I mean, the entire van trip is something completely different, of course. I better get back to editing. Done with editing for today. And I think it was a really cool day. I absolutely loved the hike. It was pretty cool to not have to drive a lot. Tomorrow is going to look quite a bit different though, because we have a few kilometers to go. And I guess we'll check out Luleå, but that's still to be defined. So let's check back after some sleep. I wish you a good night and I'll see you tomorrow.